We are live. I'm just gonna work on getting my virtual background that I wanted to get here, but it's just odd how it shifted. How's everyone doing? Diana, you're on mute. Diana, you keep joining the wrong room, old lady. You know, old lady, you're on mute. I can't hear you. I like that. That's the best way to have a Diana show. Yeah, you do need a Scott mute. So how are you, Spud?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we can hear you. Thank God.
Excellent.
I had a special background and it didn't show up. Once again, there are technology issues, but we are all good to go. Welcome to another episode starting promptly on time at 5 p.m. And we have some people joining in, and this is going to be a fun one.
Unless you sing.
Okay, set the alarm for 5:55 p.m. Unless I'm not singing, I promise you I'm not singing. So this is a Spud's topic. Diana, you're on mute. And Jim is here, and I don't know why Jim is
I'm unmuted.
All right, you gonna learn how to do this right for once, Diana?
No, you are not good at this. I just came from a meeting where I was perfect.
I don't know what to say. You're not perfect now, so
I went to a meeting sitting outside in the cold for a half hour because the person wouldn't let us in the house, in their house. They shouldn't. I agree.
You're shut down. I understand we've shut down. You're done with it. No restaurants at all. You're screwed. I had a perfect background of the old bus that.
This looks much nicer. Whatever it
is. This is very.
The skies are
I'm going to Gibson's tomorrow for lunch, and I'm sitting outside. It's only going to be
Friday was
45
they closed the restaurants.
What?
I thought they were closing the restaurants on Friday.
No, the inside. I can sit outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
I didn't think you were joining us.
Yes.
Yay! Congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
What did you win?
Heidi, tell everyone what you won.
I won a couple awards in the Society for American Travel Writers Central States chapter awards. So I got third and second place in the sustainable travel division for travel writing. So yeah, I'm pretty thrilled.
Yay!
And I had a really big article that's a year in the making published today on BBC about Oklahoma's Black Cowboys, so it was a kind of a double whammy today.
It's really nice.
Yeah, sorry, I had to brag a little bit.
Hold on, Tom. Come back. Yeah, I got a new background. This should be familiar to Jim. Jim Louderback shows up. Yay!
Look at that bus.
Good old crowd here.
Fly us, it's the bus.
The bus is on its way for a sale. We're selling the bus.
I know. I still haven't bought my. You got me into the whole RV world. Now I need to buy one that's like that, but actually doesn't break down. There we go.
So let's go around the horn here. Who do we got in the room? We got Spud, of course.
I'm all here.
Yeah, all right. And we got Heidi, and we got Jim at Louderback, and we got Robert. I invited Thomas Hawk. He might be joining us.
You missed Diana.
Oh, I don't miss Diana.
He misses his mother-in-law.
I did not miss her. I forgot her. So
wait,
another episode of the Scott and Diana Talk Travel Show with special guest stars and a regular returning crowd with lots of folk, including Laura and everyone else. So how's everyone doing? Are you in front of your organ tonight, Spud?
Say what?
Are you in front of your organ?
I am. I do not have the piano turned on, but I can definitely do that. Should you need background music?
Yes. Well, it is road trip music.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure. I know some blues. I can play some road trip blues.
Ooh, good.
I would love that. I've picked out my song, and I'm excited. We actually expanded the idea to go to not only road trip music, but also road trips,
Road trip
anything road trip related. So with that, I think I'd like to start with Spud.
Oh,
Uh-uh.
you're going to catch me off guard here. I've got, I don't know, I've got quite a few. I've written a few packages for the Chronicle at one time or another on road trips and collected a lot of songs for one or the other. I don't know. I think for me, and I'm not usually a yacht rock type of guy, but Take It Easy by the Eagles makes me want to be on the road. And it's the right tempo, it's the right pace. There's just a nice laid back nature to it that makes you feel like, you know, I really ought to be in a beat up truck, just zooming down the road and meeting strange women.
Aren't you a married man, or you know?
Yeah, and she's pretty strange too.
All right, well, you know, it's San Francisco, everything goes. So,
I mean, there are others. I love the Australian version of I've Been Everywhere, which was recorded long before the American version. The Australian version, most of the places, predictably, are almost completely impossible to fit all of the syllables into the song in order to sing it correctly. But I'm sure the way they sing it is fine. But it was originally an Australian song. And then actually someone else did it for Canada. And then it finally came to the United States, and eventually Johnny Cash made a big hit out of it. But it you know, I love the idea that it can be a road trip song in at least 3 different countries.
why 3 different countries again?
It was originally written for Australia. Yeah.
Australia, Canada,
Yeah.
and California.
I think there are actually probably other versions now for Europe and other places, but yeah. Basically, when the author, who's Australian, was told to write one for the American market, his publisher just sent him an atlas of North America and said, "Here, do whatever you need to." There's actually only 2 places, a little bit of trivia. There's only 2 places that overlap both the song I've Been Everywhere, the American version, and, wait for it, Route 66.
Ooh.
And right off the top of my head, I don't remember what those 2 places are, but I'm looking it up because I have a whole trivia quiz on Road Trip that I wrote a while back and did on a Facebook Live. But yeah, only 2 places.
That's that's awesome.
I'm gonna go for Gallup, New Mexico as one.
Yeah.
The place.
As I'm just picking
Okay.
places from Route 66.
Yeah, I know I've been on Route 66, but I have no recollection. I don't even know where it is. I know it goes to Chicago.
Tulsa seems to end up on a lot of songs about traveling.
Well, really?
Is it in that song? Is Tulsa in that song? Well, you got Living on Tulsa Time and
Yeah, a lot of country songs, especially for obvious reasons.
oh yeah. So
Dirk is trying to get in. I got to get him
Are
in
you
the show.
blocking him?
I don't know. I've got, everyone else has got technical issues today, and
You seem to have had a few while you were going.
No, I did. I tried to, no matter how much I prepare, there's some, I have a song that I like, that, I think is great for road trips. And let me just start it for you.
I hope you're going to start singing it.
No, of course I am.
That's going to be a problem.
But
Where's the mute button?
yeah, they found that on the debate, didn't they?
I need one of those.
Hold on. Let me get Dirk settled. Someone else talk about Jim. You're a Grateful Dead fan and a driver.
I will say that the best road trip song, and then I'll talk about bands that I listen to all the time, but the best road trip song is Radar Love by Golden Earring.
yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Anybody wants to argue that, I'm happy to argue it, but that is the one song. If I had to list to one song on a road trip, that would be it.
Yeah, no argument here. That's a good one.
I don't even know it.
Yes, you do.
How's it go?
Well, I'm
Someone-
not gonna sing it, so.
Someone starts singing it.
Or somebody play it in the background.
The radio plays that forgotten song. Brand new.
Oh.
One more loving, one more radar loving. I'm a terrible singer, but you get the idea.
Here's my favorite. Come on, people.
I can't see what you're, I don't even know what that is. Oh, I know.
This is I love Alice's Restaurant.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know,
Long, it tells a story. You remember the last time you heard it.
Thanksgiving,
Well,
Arlo just retired. Did you know that, Scott? He just said, "I'm done."
just,
he'll come back.
No, I don't know. I think Alzheimer's runs in the family because I think that's what Woody Guthrie had.
Oh,
But Arlo's like he's done, which is too bad. I saw him twice. I think once at Carnegie Hall around Thanksgiving, and then once in Vermont earlier on. And amazing, great, just what a great musician.
didn't we see him in Chicago on that little Rosemont Arlo? I didn't know there was an Arlo and a Woody.
yeah. But
I thought that.
I've never seen Arlo or Woody, so I wasn't there.
We saw some folk singer out of Rosemont or somewhere with David.
Oh, the one we walked out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'll
He walked out.
We did.
Laura and I tend to
Our
walk
friends
out.
drove, and we ended up taking the subway back
Yeah.
into the city because we wanted to leave so badly.
It was that same genre,
Oh,
but
no. It just went in and out of my head again.
There was a movie back in the they made Alice's Restaurant with him.
Yeah, that's right. He was the other thing I would say, if you want to know more about Arlo's more recent stuff, is I think it was Austin City Limits did a great live version. It was on one of the PBS stations, one of the PBS shows. It was from 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. He does Alice's Restaurant, plays a lot of other great songs, and it is a great late stage Arlo show. So look for it out on the interwebs somewhere.
all right.
Here's your radar love, by the way. Be careful because
Yeah, we're gonna
since
get.
this is actually going to be on Facebook Live,
Oh yeah.
we always have to be
Oh,
careful
you know
about how
what?
much of an actual song you play.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had issues with the radio playing in the background, like with the Poodles, where we've been bounced.
Yeah.
Without
I mean,
even realizing it.
For my own podcast, the only way I got what I thought was pretty good music for the podcast itself, for the intro and the out, is because my brother Steve was in a San Francisco band back in the 70s and 80s, put out an album that the publisher went defunct, so Steve owns the rights. And I just took a bunch of these really fun 1980s tunes and figure out which one would make the best theme song. And he just said, yeah, you got the rights. So
All right, what's the name of the band?
84 Rooms.
And what did that mean?
I think we're not completely sure. We think one of the band members under many hallucinogenic drugs probably saw a sign somewhere for a hotel that just said 84 rooms and thought that was a good idea. He was also in a band called Novak back in the late 70s, early 80s. That was actually a little more popular in San Francisco, but San Francisco really didn't have the punk and alternative scene that LA and New York did. So
Although, 415 Records, I remember in the late 70s, early 80s, some really good stuff like Romeo Void coming out of there. I mean, that's another good one. You play some Romeo Void.
yeah, I like you better if we slept together.
I might like you better if we slept together. There's something in your eyes that says maybe. That's never
Never
say.
say never.
Never.
That
That's
was
a San
classic
Francisco tune right there.
tune. Yeah, that was a classic tune. Absolutely. I'm trying to. Oh, hey, I found this quiz, Scott. So if at some point you have a lull in the action, I can throw out a question for people on road trips.
All
But
right.
I would leave it until
There,
after we hear what
we achieved the low already.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay, I'll throw one out right now. Oh, this is a bonus question. How many places are listed in the North American version of I've Been Everywhere, which is only 2 minutes and 45 seconds long, by Hank Snow? Anyone? Anyone? Take some rough
245.
guesses. Rough guesses.
76.
Well, 76 is up there. It's 91. There are
Whoa.
91
Wow.
places in the one song. And yes, I actually sat down and counted the damn thing. So
Was that before or after you saw 84 Rooms play?
oh, yeah. I'll have to see if I can find a picture. I have a picture on my desktop of 84 Rooms playing somewhere. I forget where it is. I also found the recipe for the minty spud,
Oh, yes.
Scott. So we'll have to find a bartender who can put together the minty spud.
I would like that very much.
Well, give us a hint about what's in the minty spud.
Oh, let's see. Hang on a sec here. Okay. This is a recipe made up by Dan Saltstein, one of the travel editors at the New York Times, who made it specifically for me, I guess. And it's 2 ounces of aged rum and half an ounce each of, there's no punctuation here, so it's hard to tell. It's half an ounce each of lemon ginger syrup or lemon ginger syrup, falernum amaro or falernum amaro, I'm not sure, and then muddled mint, and then you add soda for taste. So that's.
I can't believe you have a drink named after you that you've never actually tasted.
Yeah, well,
That's like a crime.
I was working my way around to it.
So do you remember when I took that road trip with Lucy and I went south of San Francisco where the resort or the Doris Day resort is and stayed into someone's home?
Carmel.
Yeah, south of Carmel in like the forest there. Jim, you guys must
Big
know.
Sur.
Yeah, Big Sur. And I stayed at this Airbnb, this spectacular home, and just me and my poodle, and the winding roads to get in there to the homes. You make one wrong turn and you're screwed. And I went out to dinner with her, and on my way back, it just so happened, and it's pitch black. This song comes on the radio.
Traffic.
Can't,
Oh, okay.
can't heat.
Blind Faith,
Blind faith.
Can't Find My
Started
Way
Blind
Home.
Faith, yeah.
And I'm just into the music and I'm singing and I'm like, okay, and I've got the GPS that I thought was working. And before I knew it, I was lost and I could not find my way home. And I was singing and just recording the whole thing. I'm wasted and I can't find, I'm not going to say that I was wasted, but
That would be great to add to our elevator playlist for if the elevator got stuck.
there is no button for elevator stop. Oh, the emergency button. Oh, that would be, we have an elevator.
No, that one I told you to put love in elevator.
No, that's for all of them.
Oh.
That just rotates through.
Okay.
So,
All right, so
Scott,
that's my, yes.
Scott, I want to riff on that one with a time that I was sort of lost and couldn't find my way home. It was dark as night. The song that I listened to though was New Speedway Boogie by the Grateful Dead with the refrain, one way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness has to ease. And that was similar.
Oh,
Nice.
that would work. Is there a guy pissing in the background of my? Look at that. Look at there's a guy.
I can't.
Does everyone see the guy off to my left here?
We need a different.
No.
No.
There's a guy
I
standing
can't,
there.
I can't see
You
what
see-
he's doing.
it looks
Can you
like-
zoom in.
No, I don't want to offer that. Whatever. All right, there we go. Diana, do you have any music
My
that
mother
you would?
doesn't do road trips.
And I can find
okay.
the music if you want.
Okay,
anything
my
else.
music is, I don't go on the road. To me, a car ride is 10 minutes or less.
That's a
So
long-
I will get in the car and sing Willie Nelson on the road again. That's it.
I think my
Well-
favorite road trip was with you in the back of a convertible in
Oh,
California, holding your hair,
Driving up to
asking
Santa
if we could
Barbara,
put the top
Going
up.
to a wedding.
And I
in
said
San-
no.
Yes.
I rented the convertible
Yeah.
and
let the hair go.
let the hair go. It was
Yeah, but Scott keeps playing all these cool songs. When we actually do go on a road trip, what do we really
we listen to podcasts.
No. Look at that, what music. We talk about
Yeah. Oh, the Carpenters. What
Yeah.
do you
Willie Nelson.
I mean, they're here.
Yeah, no, we listen to the
No,
Carpenters.
yeah. Yeah, but it's a lot of podcasts lately. You know, it's funny. I'd like to do a road trip. And I'd like to visit my bus, which I'm selling on Bring a Trailer. Jim,
Because it's been living in California for
yeah,
how
Jim.
many years?
Jim, it was his office for a year, and then Kevin took it for a year. I didn't know the window things fell off. You and Kevin, the window cranks.
I replaced them.
Well, Kevin told me that you told him that you needed to have them with you often because they often break.
They do come off, but I actually replaced them. Like 2 of them came off, and I replaced them from what is it, Samba? That place where you
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Well, he replaced them too, and he thinks I need to disclose that to potential buyers.
Well, I think you just did.
I know
It's
this
easy
is
enough to get the cranks. I think the crankshaft that actually comes out of the car door, some of the I don't know, the rough edges or whatever they do on it may have braided down, so it's hard for the crank to
Yeah.
actually adhere to it. I'm not a mechanic, obviously, but
I mean, it is a 50-year-old vehicle.
It's an old bus.
Yes.
I mean, as the license.
as the
plate.
license plate says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but and I that's going to come with the vehicle when it sells. Any predictions on what do you think I'm going to get for it, Jimmy?
$12,000.
12?
Yeah.
I got to reserve at 17. I think I'm going to get 30.
Okay.
Yeah. 30 cents?
I don't know. I will see. We'll
Yep.
see. I don't know. Telephone.
Yeah. By the way, this is my
That's
my
an
red
old
bat phone. Wait a minute.
What do
Here
you
we go.
got?
that phone.
I can't see it. Hold it up again and speak so you're.
Oh, there, look.
Oh,
that's
you
a real
really do
phone.
have a phone.
That's why it's
Oh, a real phone.
Wow. Do those even work anymore?
Oh, this is the FTC calling.
Look at that.
Jim, are you there? Are you there? I
yeah,
thought
hello?
the phones were
Yeah.
supposed to connect.
Can we talk about Scott for a minute?
Well, we did do the JDRF announcement, so I'm allowed to
Yes.
actually say something
Yeah,
about
and
it.
Robert's video was featured
Yes.
in our email.
Robert, thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's awesome. So, and
I
I
recognize that.
learned a lot from watching your video, by the way. I had no idea. And I learned a lot searching. Diabetes is the 4th leading cause of death in the United States. So probably the world, if not.
Now, I recognize the name Claudia Graham because back in the early 90s, I worked on a cable show called Living with Diabetes. It was on Lifetime. And I remember the name from some reason. She was probably involved with, because we did a lot of work with celebrities with diabetes and things like that. But now my contribution, do we have any jazz people out there? Okay.
That'd be me.
Whoa,
You can't see.
You know that road song, West Montgomery?
West Montgomery Road
Oh,
song.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember the other show I used to watch, Dignation. That was a great show.
Is that still on?
No, Kevin, that stopped like a year or 2 before we sold Revision 3. Kevin was done with it.
Is that right? How you been, Jim? You been on the road a lot, or?
Oh, I haven't been anywhere. The only thing I've done on the road, I drove to Bend to meet my brother in Bend for a couple days, Bend, Oregon. I live in San Francisco, just south like Spud. And it was nice to be on the road again, even if it was like, a 7-hour drive without stopping.
Well, and Oregon's doing okay right now. I think they're one of the few states that isn't surging. We're
Yeah,
surging.
Bend was beautiful.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is
And is nice.
They're
If
doing
I-
better.
If I
Nice
road
to be
trip
there.
down to San Francisco, could I visit with you, Jim and Spud? Would you allow me?
Absolutely.
We
I don't
can
think
definitely
Oregon's
visit.
possibly fun.
I can't let you stay here because my wife and son are all freaked out because they're still
I wouldn't stay, anyway.
Yeah,
but
no, it'd be
Yeah,
great
let's
to
go
see
hang
you.
out. We'll go for a hike somewhere.
I
Yeah,
might do that. I miss Thomas Hawk won't let me come visit. He's weirded out.
Yeah, it's spiking everywhere. Wait, Mom, you do need to explain more. You saw a doctor from our little hospital on national news?
From St. Luke's Hospital in Idaho. I gave you his name. I forget his name.
Well, it was on.
And
I
what?
can't believe we were on national news again.
yeah, it was, I never pay attention to it. And I go, oh my gosh, St. Luke's Hospital. Well, we have a St. Luke's here. And then I looked and said, Idaho. I go, oh, that's where Scott and Laura live. Uh-oh.
I have to
Maybe
go
I won't-
tomorrow to get.
Maybe I won't come and visit at Christmas, maybe.
I'm going to St. Luke's tomorrow to get my flu shot. Hopefully,
You
yeah,
better Flu shot, girl.
I was
Yeah.
scheduled tomorrow at noon.
we were supposed to do that too. We were going to do the drive-through, but you
You
can't
better
actually
do
make an
that too.
appointment.
Right.
We're going
No.
to definitely do that.
But I went to CVS in Daly City and they shot me
Really?
right. It was great.
That might be the thing to do because
And, yeah. And I went to
drive-through things are-
Costco. I went to the supermarket.
It is a little weird asking the pharmacist to stick a needle in your arm.
That's why I'm going to the hospital.
Yeah, they're fine with it. You can book.
Yeah.
You book online. They just show up. They shoot you full of whatever it is they shoot you full of, and you go off happy.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
Is this how easy it would be to distribute the vaccine? When it comes out? Why not? Why is that more
The
complicated?
temperature they have to keep it. Most of the ones they're developing have to be kept at like sub-zero temperatures, require special equipment. So it's not a matter of just like dropping by the drugstore.
Now, just for the purpose of getting us back on the road trip,
Yes.
in
Thank
the
you.
show, here's the question for you. And oh, by the way, on the earlier question, Heidi was the closest to coming to the right answer about the two songs that overlap, I've Been Everywhere and Route 66. And those two places are Amarillo, Texas, and the entire state of Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah, which is where she lives. So that works out here. Let's see. We have another question here, which I think is worth doing. And I think we have almost the right age group for this. Who famously drove a 1983 Wagon Queen family truckster, which was a modified Ford Country
Clyde
Squire?
Griswold.
Clyde Griswold is the answer.
How is it?
I
you
knew
know
that one too. I knew that one.
It's from Vacation,
It's
National
from
Lampoon's
Vacation.
Vacation. And it was a Ford Country Squire with faux wood paneling and 8 headlights. It was awesome.
8 headlights. That's
Yeah. It was like so ridiculously overdone. And keep in mind that this is pre-SUV, so everyone was still getting, the great big long, what do they call those?
Well, this is pre-SUV. This is SUV. This is the very first SUV.
Yeah,
arguably.
but the wagon, but the station wagon could actually go up hills, unlike that.
Yeah.
Actually, this had a replacement engine.
This has had a replacement to everything.
Yeah, it has had 4. I replaced the engine 4 times.
Yeah, Scott used to take this on road trips when we had office pools about how long he'd get stuck. I remember one of the whiteboards had like up to 2 weeks, and I think you were gone.
10 days.
Yeah, that was, you got to stay in Santa Monica while they
Yeah, it wasn't
replaced
so bad.
everything.
4 times, Scott. Isn't there a definition of an insanity that's like
Yes.
doing the same thing over and
Same thing
over
over and
again and
over.
expecting
That's
a
why
different result?
That's why I tried to sell it to Jim. I offered it to him for 40,000. In trade.
So we can deduce that Jim's not insane.
I did get to really get to know a very desolate piece of Nevada highway as I was ferrying it to San Francisco.
I felt
I
so
forgot
badly
about
about that.
Is that the highway that it's 150 miles between gas stations?
It comes south out of Idaho and down to Route 80.
Is it the one that Area 51 is on?
No, that's I think 50.
Okay, that's a different one because I thought that was the most desolate stretch of road I've ever driven in my life.
Oh no, when you drive
No, it-
from here to San Francisco, you go through some stretches that are something else.
Yeah. And some
Yeah,
crazy-
it's called Vallejo. No, I'm just kidding. About that. Sorry.
I tell you what is the longest state to drive through? It's freaking Texas. I mean, you'll be driving for 8
That's a big
hours in
state.
Texas and you're still in Texas. I mean, it's ridiculous how big and weird it is to drive in Texas.
You know, Idaho is that way too. It's deceptively
Really?
gigantic.
So what's
You know,
longer, Texas?
From the bottom to the top.
across-
I mean, what's that?
That's because there aren't any roads that go from the bottom to the top. You have to like wind
No,
around.
there actually there are some, I believe.
Not a direct one.
No, well, you know,
It's like
takes as long
Right?
to drive to San Francisco as it does to take the Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah, no, we can get to the coast much more easily.
Yeah, I
And
would
we have to
imagine.
drive through some weird parts of Nevada.
So
I
has
am
everyone said their song and their playlist? And does anyone have a playlist that's worthy of sharing?
What was Heidi's song?
Yeah, Heidi hasn't.
Oh, I didn't realize we were supposed to pick a song.
You don't
I have-
have to, but
I
you know.
have a weird collection of music. My road trip music is like depending on where I'm going, you know? So if I'm going, I mean, obviously I have a whole lot of, you know, Middle Eastern dance music on my playlist, which by the way makes you speed and get tickets when you're listening to it. Because you tend to dance along with them in the car. But you know, if it's someplace like majestic, like the Grand Tetons, I'm going to listen to majestic music, like, you know, instrumentals. If I'm just going to New Orleans, I'm going to listen to some Dio and some Rob Zombie and Pantera, you know. So, sometimes, you know, it just depends on the kind of road trip I'm taking. But I do have 2 or 3 songs of my ultimate road trips, and I'll send that to you guys. Can we make a group road trip playlist where like each of us send in 2 or 3 songs and we record it and send it to each other?
That works for
Record
me.
it, meaning like we gotta sing it, or we just
No.
if we can
No,
just
everybody sends their favorite songs. So we have like everybody's favorite road trip songs in one place, in one playlist, and we can all play it.
Maybe a group Spotify playlist.
Or
There you go.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would do it.
you could
that's
also,
where you were stuck.
you could also do it for YouTube.
Oh,
Go,
yeah, you
Jim,
can.
start
That's
talking
right.
again. Let's see.
Yeah,
Sorry.
what is that, Jim? We've got to see it.
Explain the story when Jim came here.
So when I was on one of the loneliest highways in America, getting to know it really well, particularly the skeleton of the dead deer that was parked right by where the bus sort of died on the side of the road. It got towed about 70 miles to this place, the auto clinic. And that's where the bus lived for, I don't know, like a month as it was getting
I was
repaired.
there a long time.
For a while, and then I went back. That was its home in Nevada, I think, for a month.
And it ultimately was something really stupid. It was like
It was like-
a
It's like the
$70
brake or
part.
something. Yeah, something on the brake side.
I had forgotten.
We
about
ordered a
that.
special part, and they said they didn't need it, and you had to take a. And then, how did you get it there? Oh, do we have it shipped there to you, or
Yeah, we had it shipped.
I hope I paid for all that.
You did. We took care of it. Don't worry. But yeah, it was funny because you know, I got there and it was this little town in the middle of Nevada that there's no bus service. The Amtrak used to stop there, and it still went through there, but wouldn't stop. And I ended up, one of the guys from the repair place was taking his family to Ely, Nevada, which was like 80
yeah.
miles away.
That's a big town.
Right, but they were going there because
Yeah.
that's where they played Little League. So I hitchhiked a ride with him.
I remember when I drove it back, and I
So,
broke
like,
down.
Someone picked me up.
I broke down in Jackpot, which is at the border of Idaho and Nevada. And I called AAA up, and they told me I needed to call because I was technically in Nevada. Like literally, I was on the border. I could have pushed the bus to almost to Idaho, and they said because I was physically in Nevada, I had to call the Nevada AAA, and they can only tow the bus backwards to another shop in Nevada instead of Twin Falls, which was like 40 miles, in the right direction. The
That's
stories
kinda
of the
where-
bus.
That's near where I broke down. Totally.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Jackpot.
Jackpot.
Hey, Scott, wouldn't it make more sense to actually hire a guy to drive a tow truck behind you everywhere you go in that van? I mean, it would just make more sense to me because you'd save money and time just having a guy tail you.
Or tow a spare car.
One of the engine replacements, I drove it to California, and it had so much play in the steering wheel, you could make a half turn before it actually started responding.
Yes.
So you had to be constantly, you think you're micro adjusting, but you're not. But you know,
I
when
had a Ford van
arrived
like that.
in San or LA, my friend said, "You want to get an oil change? You should probably get an oil change. Long drive." And I'm like, "Fine." So I went to a Jiffy Lube. They changed my
Oh, I
oil.
remember this
I parked the car back at her house. Didn't drive it for 3-4 days and went to hit the road jack. And sure enough, the oil, they didn't put the cap on right. And all the oil was gone. And I drove it to, or I had it towed to a VW place. And because I didn't bring it back to the oil place to get first, they wouldn't pay for anything. The buses had lots of memories.
But if you want to talk about car mishaps, I'm going to lean over a second here. Oh, wrong way.
Oh my.
That's my mint green Toyota Tercel underneath a 30-ton Muni bus.
Ow!
I'm sorry, Muni train.
Oh my God.
How did you do that?
Fortunately, we weren't in it. It was a few years back, a Muni train on the J Church line let go. It didn't have anybody.
Bye-bye, Heidi.
It
Thanks
let go at the top of the hill. And it's one of these light rail trains, weighs 30 tons, came down the hill, hit the turn in Church Street, went up the street sideways, taking out cars, and finally landed on mine. So I'll tell you the short version of the story, which is the next day, we call up AAA. We have our insurance with them and say, "Hey, we were part of that whole Muni, accident thing yesterday, and we want to report the accident." And they said, "Well, what garage did you take your car to?" And I said, "Do you have a Chronicle in the break room?" She says, "Yeah." Says, "Go get that. I'll wait." She comes back in like 2 minutes and says, "See the mint green Toyota Tercel underneath the 30-ton train?" She says, "Yeah." I says, "That's mine." He goes, "I think we'll call that a total."
That is crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Can I share this with you? Look at this.
Oh.
So there's a story here. It's
This is not ours
amazing.
for a change.
So y'all read it. Hey, this was 2008, 12 years ago. Subject: look how durable your vest is. Hey, Scott, I just received your email and saw that you personally read all your emails. I wanted to thank you for making such a great product. I learned of SCOTTeVEST watching The Big Idea. I purchased one for my 62-year-old father for the holidays. On February 24th, my father was hit by a city snowplow that ran a red light. He spent 2 months in the hospital, followed by therapy, which continues to this day. When he came out of his coma, he asked for several things, including the details of his rescue. The only item he asked for, aside from his wallet, was whether anyone had his SCOTTeVEST. I mean, he lived. I mean, is that, how do you live through that? And is that not the best story?
Yeah.
I've never actually seen the photo. I
Oh,
didn't know the
really?
story. Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
that's insane.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
yeah. Road trips became car crashes, accidents.
Hi, Spencer. I see
breakdowns.
Spencer joined us.
Sorry,
And
I'm
thank
late.
you also, Spencer, for your family video. We just got the edit earlier this week.
Did you
Oh,
send
excellent.
Spencer's package?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it showed up yesterday, as a matter of
See?
fact.
That's quick.
And
showed up
Do
Faster
a
than I got
review
the
on
edit.
Amazon if you don't mind.
Faster than I got the video.
I do not mind. I'll try and see about that. It gets done sometime in the next week or so.
Whenever. I appreciate it.
But
That was awesome.
although I am late to the party, I can contribute to any of the topics you've discussed. Just let me know which one you want me to dive into.
Okay,
You
topic
are-
number one.
Road trip music.
Okay, road trip music. The 2 longest road trips I've ever done, I went from Mars Plains, New Jersey to Kalamazoo, Michigan in one day. That was about 17 hours. The first time I did it, I had a stack roughly 30 high of CDs on the passenger seat. That was no fun at all. The next time I did it, I had gotten an iPod Nano as a gift, and it was a world of difference. The second road trip I did many years later, my family and I went from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey to Disney World in 2 days. And the technological advancements from the first one to the second were massive. So the thing I recommend to anybody who has an automobile that is more than 5 years old is if you do not have Bluetooth or a Bluetooth to FM transmitter in your car, get one. Because smartphones these days, and mine's right in front of me, have become the ultimate music playing machine. Whether it's a case of you're ripping all of the CDs and albums you've got in your library and putting them on your phone, or if you get Spotify or Pandora or YouTube Music, or in my case, the station I live and die by is Radio Paradise.
What's that?
Okay, so Radio Paradise, to take a sidestep, used to be a full-on FM band radio station out of Paradise, California. Paradise, California may register a trigger in your memory because they were the town that burned up last year. But a while back, they went from being an FM band station to being an internet radio station. Their tag audience is eclectic music. And what they play is basically whatever they damn well please. So and I kid you not, in the span of 10 songs, you can go from Little Richard to Bob Dylan to Mozart to Woody Guthrie to the Talking Heads, all over the place. And what makes that station fantastic, along with other things like it, maybe you pay for Pandora or Spotify, or maybe you pay for some other subscription, is so long as you have a data connection, there is no FM degradation, there's no interference, there's nothing like that. And also, there's no commercials. So when my family and I drove from Jersey to Cincinnati because we wanted to go to a blues fest on the weekend, I put Radio Paradise on almost the entire time. Not a single commercial other than a thank you for listening to Radio Paradise. Almost
How do they make
no,
money?
well, because they're listener supported. They're not quite public radio, but they're working off the same vein. So I occasionally make like a $12 donation to cover me for the year, and then I just listen to music.
Wow.
And granted, it doesn't have to be Radio Paradise, but I can't recommend them enough. But if you've ever considered maybe Amazon Music or Google's equivalent or Apple's equivalent, and I mean, there are a lot of them out there now.
Mhm.
You can build your own stations if you don't want to listen to what some other people are playing. In my case, what I've gotten into the habit of doing to occupy my time with Facebook is roughly every day, I will find a YouTube video equivalent of a song I've heard on Radio Paradise, put it up on my Facebook wall, and then I go ahead and create a YouTube playlist off of that. So now over the last however long I've been in pandemic land, I have a playlist of almost 120 songs that I can now play in my car if I really want to be more customized to me. And I'm happy as a clam.
I've never had good experience with the FM transmitter Bluetooth thingy.
So the thing about those is several-fold. One, newer technologies are a lot better at broadcasting than older. Two, you have to find an FM band that you know no other station is going to be occupying. Because if you've got any station that's got some bleed over in a surrounding community, the moment you approach that community, it all starts to get garbled and fade out. The other saving grace is, you know, it doesn't hurt to try more than one transmitter. I can recommend 2 of them that I use with my wife in our respective automobiles. I can send them to you for you.
Yeah, when you send me a link on one, I'd love it because I've got 2 cars that don't have Bluetooth.
Yeah,
so
not a problem.
By the way, new iPhone 12, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're about to drop it.
so I'm a commercial for the iPhone 12. That's all.
Okay.
Nice.
So the
Good to know.
FM transmitters, you shouldn't have to spend more than 15 or 20 bucks on.
Right.
So I'll
No,
be-
I know they're cheap.
Yeah.
Just another tip. My last car, which still had a cassette player.
Is that it?
My last, no, that's not it. That didn't even have a cassette player. My last car that had a cassette player, I had one of those little Radio Shack cassettes with a wire coming out of it.
Yep.
So you had to stick that in order to be able to plug in your Walkman or your Walkman disc player. The car behind me is a customized Toyota Corona, not Corolla, from 1970. And when it was given to me by my brother, it already looked like that because it had been on the East Coast where everything rusts to hell because they put salt on the streets and, you know, everything like that, that you can see that the
What happened to the front fender?
bumper is barely held on by a couple of nuts so that it used to go like this when you got to a certain speed. I'm the one that put stenciled nuclear test vehicle on the back because people would be passing me on the highway and look and read the nuclear test vehicle. And I had the little nuclear sign next to the gas tank, input. And they look at this thing and they go, what if that's true? Could that car be a nuclear test vehicle? And they'd like take off and speed, beyond that. No, I love that car. It was, I drove that in when I was at Sac State for a while and tried to take it, speaking of paradise, tried to take it up when I moved up to Oroville. It's actually died right there on, I think, Highway 70 going up to Oroville because my roommate from college, we moved up to Oroville, and I'm only prolonging this story to say that my roommate from college was the band teacher at Paradise High School. and basically the whole town vaporized, and he's now living, I think, in Biggs or Gridley or something like that.
Yeah,
but yes, that was the nuclear test vehicle.
Now, with regard to road trip mishaps, I can give you a short story and a long story. I'll let you decide which one's more entertaining. The first girlfriend I ever had, Valentine's Day, we drove from Essex County, New Jersey, a town called South Orange, out to Lehigh, Pennsylvania, where she lived. It's a Monday night. I'm feeling miserable because I'm either getting a really bad cold or a case of the flu coming on. And I'm on Route 78 West, driving out in the dark because Pennsylvania does not have anywhere near the number of streetlights on the highways that Jersey has. I'm driving a Chevy Sprint, which is arguably the greatest automotive misnomer known to man. It's a 3-cylinder vehicle and has maybe about as much power as 3 Matchbox cars put together. And it's roughly 10 o'clock at night. It's hard for me to remember the time anymore. My head's in a fog. Right up until the moment I see the deer in front of the car.
Oh.
Ballpark it at probably what felt from the impact like a 500-pound beast. I hit its rear flank. It hit almost my whole front and totaled the car. So here I am with my scared girlfriend and me fighting off the flu, standing on the side of the road in the middle of February in Pennsylvania, waiting for some kind Samaritan to pick us up. Ultimately, AAA was called. The tow truck operator took us to the exit and dropped us off. I was a half mile from the exit.
Oh, jeez.
And for the life of me, in the dark, I had no way of knowing. Now, that's the serious mishap road trip. The longer story, I'm taking my not yet fiance down to Ocean Island Beach, North Carolina. It's the weekend. I'm meeting the family and some of the extended family, and it's supposed to be a great time. What could go wrong? Well, to start, on the way through everything, and actually I got a different anecdote to put to the side. So the order of operation on states is Jersey, Delaware, then Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. Getting down into the general DC area, not too bad. Traffic's reasonably light. Okay, fine. Get into DC and around. And now I'm back out on 95 doing my thing. And I hear at a rest stop, whatever you do, don't get to this cluster because there's a lot of traffic going on, lots of congestion. For those of you who don't know Washington, D.C. area, there's this area known as the Beltway. And the Beltway is where everybody basically goes to get to everywhere else in that area, typically involving government jobs in D.C. and K Street and the surrounding Arlington. Okay, fine. I know that area. I used to intern down there plenty of time. So I say, I'm going to go this way, then this way, then this way, then this way, and I'll avoid it. Now, you may be familiar with the adage that 2 wrongs don't make a right. Well, 3 lefts do. I wound up with all of my machinations winding up in the exact area I intended to avoid, which sucked because ultimately what happened was we got outside 95 to an absolute standstill for as far as the eye could see. Every lane for what looked to be like 3 or 4 miles was complete stop. People were getting out of their cars and talking with other people because there was so much lack of activity going forward. Ultimately, a medevac chopper flew overhead because what had happened was a huge accident further on down must have occurred, brought everything to a grinding halt. Fast forward 2 or 3 hours, okay, we're up and running again. We're driving further on down. In front of me, 3 or 4 cars, there is a boogie board that fell off of a car and is sitting in front of whomever is misfortunate enough to go ahead and drive over it, which was the car in front of me, which kicked it up off the back wheel and sent it at my windshield like a
Oh my
projectile.
God.
I dodged that.
Like
But-
literally, did you, while you're driving?
Well, no, I literally had to swerve the car for it to go past the vehicle.
Oh, jeez.
Kind of like that one bit out of, I think it's Lethal Weapon 2, where it happens and the guy has less fortune. But wait, there's more. So we're now trying to get further down. We're still trying to get to Ocean Island Beach. We stop at a Cracker Barrel for a rest stop for this meal because we're hungry, we're tired. We pick a table, we sit down. There's almost no one left in the restaurant because of all the delay from the traffic. Waitress is going ahead and bussing the tables. She picks up a bottle of A1 sauce, puts it on her tray. I don't know if she's clumsy or she missteps. She tips the tray. The bottle of A1 sauce falls, hits on the corner like a pendulum. The cap comes off. The bottle goes over. I get peppered like I'm an extra out of The Godfather, and I'm at the toll booth scene. And if that wasn't enough, the absolute clincher was on the way back home on the North Carolina-Virginia border. My wife is kind of napping. I look over to the side of the road. I look over to the side of the road again to make certain I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I take a deep breath and say to my now fiance, I don't mean to trouble you, but I think I just saw a dead body. Because on the side of the road is a guy slumped face down, wearing like, I can't remember the name of the shoes anymore, like the beachcomber type ones, no socks, but he's slumped over with his arm like under himself, which would be completely uncomfortable. So he's either drunk to the point of coma or deceased. I convince my wife, call 911. She gets on the phone. The operator on the other end says, and I kid you not, yeah, Highway 911, are you calling about the dead body? Or are you calling about the body? And she goes, yeah. The operator tells her, yeah, you're the third person to call in about that. And me being me, I can't turn off me being me. I instinctively say, third caller, no prize. And we keep driving up to DC.
I mean, the third caller sometimes wins the prize.
I know, but clearly not this case. It wasn't on the radio. So yeah, and what's truly sad is I've had other far shorter road trips that have had equally crazy stuff happen. I am a road weirdness magnet.
Don't go anywhere with him.
All right, I'm not going to go anywhere. with
I'll
that.
meet you someplace. Just give me some extra time.
So we're just getting close to the witching hour, and I wanted to give anyone an opportunity to say anything they'd like or ideas for next week. I want to thank Dirk and his team. Next week the Scotty mask are coming. I
Actually,
love it.
Delivery to DTR tomorrow.
Oh really?
You
Okay.
read my email.
Oh no, I didn't. They're and Spud. We're sending you one your way. If you can let us know your thoughts and if you think it's worthy of a shout out. But let's coordinate it. But it's freaking awesome.
Looking forward to it.
What's that?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're so comfortable. I forget they're on. It's like really uncommon.
And now he's got this European look.
Do I
You
have
do.
the-
You're gonna,
It looks like an ascot, or in your case, a Scott.
a Scott.
Oh, I like that. That we can work with that. Dirk, I want to thank you and your team for helping with this production. I really appreciate them, and tell Sarah especially. And in the remaining 4 minutes, is anyone? Jim, you've been awfully silent there. That's a great picture. I like that.
This is actually where it was broken down.
Isn't that every picture of a Westphalia or a van is where it's broken down?
I was sort of searching around my old pictures. I'm like, this is the best background for Zoom ever, right?
It actually is.
Oh, it's good. You're like, what's that going on in the background? It's the bus. I will say, road trip music, Grateful Dead and Fish, jam bands rule. That's all I have to say about the topic.
All right.
You gave me a whole drive of Grateful Dead.
It's the full catalog.
Was it the full? No.
Yes, there's a full catalog.
She's my first Grateful Dead album. I was going to say.
Show.
Was there last.
Yes.
Scott, I'm going to throw out, just because there's little time left, I'm going to throw out one more trivia question here.
All right, bring it on.
And it's multiple choice, so you have a better chance at this.
Dirk's
in
gonna get
the 1991 film Thelma and Louise, the title characters supposedly go over a cliff in a blue 1966 Thunderbird convertible, B, black 1964 Lincoln Continental, C, black and white 1974 Dodge Monaco. Anybody?
I'd say the first.
A or B?
Didn't see the movie.
Who says A?
T-Bird.
That is correct. It was the T-Bird. Just for your own interest, the 74 Dodge belonged to Jake and Elwood, the Blues Brothers.
Nice.
And the 64 Lincoln was the road trip car in Animal House.
Oh,
I saw both of those.
I saw.
Yeah. We used to do these regular trivia quizzes in the Chronicle, and nobody expected anybody to have the answers to them, but they were just fun trivia. So
Okay, I've got one to add to that, Spud.
absolutely.
My absolute favorite road trip song is a Southern rock classic that's 5 to 6 minutes long with no lyrics.
Oh, no lyrics. Is it just because the band forgot the lyrics? Or
Almond
No
Brothers.
lyrics.
I was going to say Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you band's fine. You gotta get the song.
Oh,
I
geez.
can never remember the
Got
title.
band. I know. Got the band.
Radio Paradise plays it often.
Jessica,
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Wow, I'm impressed.
favorite
All
song.
right.
That's impressive, Spencer.
Fair enough.
Wow. Does anyone have any proposed concepts for next week, or should we do it next week, or should we just celebrate the new world order or the old world order or the no world order? Or
We're in Idaho filled with militias. I'm a little nervous.
I would say if you want to have a fallback, I mean, I'll let you set the tempo. It could be a support group, it could be a celebration, or you could make it a topic. I would say, what is the one must-have thing you carry in a Scotty product? If any-
I'd like to see some episodes about the product. I voted for what's in your SCOTTeVEST again to engage some customers. We're doing a horrible job at getting our customers engaged in this. in the real time. I mean, I get more people on a walk with one of my poodles than I can here.
But people do watch them.
They
because I
watch
get
it
feedback
after, yeah, so. All right, we'll think about it. Well, I want to thank everyone for the Scott and Diana Talk Travel Show.
Yeah, this is not
And,
a Diana topic. My family doesn't road trip.
Yeah.
No, the only road trip we ever did, I had to drive 8 hours from somewhere in Wisconsin. My husband flew home and she was 2 years old with 103 fever, an 8-hour drive. I didn't turn on any music, believe me. All she was in the back seat. Was she dead? Was she gonna live? She lived.
I made it.
You made it.
All right,
Like
everyone.
National
Thanks,
Lampoon's
everybody.
Vacation.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it.
All
Take
right.
care.
Good
Thanks.
Bye.
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 Bye.